On today's show, we're talking lenses. Hey there folks, welcome back to the Photo Video Show where we explore all things photography. I'm your host, Mark Puckett. So on today's show, I want to talk more about lenses. My last video on lenses did pretty good. This one is definitely not going to be as controversial, so no one will even pay any attention to it, but the conversation that was started was over the Sony kit lens and whether it was any good or whether people should use it. I do think that several people kind of missed the point. I don't think that you should use kit lenses if you have access to better equipment, but I digress. Yes, you should use the tools that you have at your disposal, whether that be kit lenses or whatever. All the jobs that you're ever going to do, they're going to be different requirements, different standards, different expectations, all that kind of stuff. So yes, use the best that you have. But the whole point of it was that your gear does not determine what you are. It was mainly meant to reiterate the fact that expensive gear does not make you a professional and that cheap gear doesn't make you an amateur. So now that we've got that settled, today I actually want to do a little compare and contrasting a little bit. I hope you guys will indulge me. I find it to be an interesting topic. One of the questions I got after I released that last video was, you know, if you have access to more expensive equipment, why wouldn't you use it? I never said that I didn't. I just said that having a $2,000 piece of glass hanging off the front of your camera was not a requisite for being a good photographer, and I still stand by that. There are lots of professionals out there that have extremely high priced gear that take absolutely shit pictures, and there are some quote-unquote rank amateurs out there that have far inferior gear and they're just blowing it out of the water. Sorry, but it's true. Expensive gear a professional does not make. So talking about the G lens, once people kind of know that you have certain things, they kind of ask you why you keep other things. So like the 18-105 actually covers the kit lenses range. The kit lens is a 16-50. But there are actually 3 reasons why I will always keep this little lens. And I just mentioned one of them. The size is just absolutely ridiculous for what it can do. The weight being number 2, it doesn't weigh anything. And its portability, it is just absolutely easy as pie to tote around, toss in a bag, throw in a coat pocket, whatever. There's no real hindrance. So if you are a Sony user, and I don't care if you are just starting out or a professional, there are a lot of different options out there for you. But here I'm going to make a quick point. I'm going to show you these 2 lenses pretty much cover everything that one might need. This is 16-50 and the bigger lens is 55-210. Now you toss that on an APS-C size sensor and you're basically looking at roughly 24 to 300. That is a nice focal range. The problem with these 2 lenses, and it's only a problem if it's a problem for you, is the variable aperture. Some might argue that the glass is not as good, that you might have some barrel distortion, you might have some softer edges. I would tend to agree with almost all of those things. If those challenges are something that you are not able to overcome, or your workflow demands a higher quality of work, this is essentially where this lens comes in. The Sony G18-105 is exceptionally sharp. It is about a $700 to $800 lens, so it's not what most people would consider cheap, but it's not overly expensive either. Now, you compare that lens, the G lens 18-105, with Sony's other lens, the 70-200, which is also a constant aperture of f4. Now you have a powerhouse of a lens system that covers just about all the focal ranges. I would even be willing to say that the perfect Sony setup right now, if you didn't include any primes whatsoever, would be the 18-105 power zoom G lens and the 70-200 millimeter G lens. You've got it all. You've pretty much got it all covered. The f-stop of 4 might be a little concerning to some, but with ISO ranges pretty much pummeling the charts, we can shoot so high these days, f4 almost doesn't even seem like that big of a hurdle to overcome anymore. The other thing you might want to consider too is that yes, you can supplement those 2 zooms, whether they be the cheap set of zooms or the more expensive set of zooms, with your primes. It really doesn't matter which company you use. If you need autofocus, look to Sony. If you can get away with just doing manual focuses for those, usually primes mean you've got a little bit of extra time to set up anyway. You combine the G lenses with a few of those primes, you've got a complete setup. You could pretty much shoot anything and everything under the sun. Pretty much the only thing that you would be lacking at that point would be a macro. And Sony now has a 90mm macro coming out, or you could go the inexpensive route and just get yourself a set of macro extension tubes. But the ultimate point of this video was to basically let you all know that if you are on a budget, but you want to cover the most ground possible, you can pick this lens up, usually with the camera that you buy already. If you need a little bit extra focal range, you can pick up the 55-210, an extremely capable lens. You can be in business from here all the way across the football field or further. You know what I mean? So you don't have to spend a huge amount of money to really get started and have something to work with. You know, some people will probably disagree. It's the internet, everyone disagrees with you. But if you're actually looking to step up your game, you want more powerful, more precision, more beauty, more functionality or whatever, you're not going to be spending a whole bunch more to get yourself into a really nice set of zoom lenses. The 18-105, combine that with the 70-200, quite literally that is a powerhouse of a focal range setup on any of these mirrorless cameras. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have other lenses. I mean, I'm a gearhead. I love lenses. I love glass. I like the old lenses. I like the new lenses. I like lenses, period. There really is plenty of options right now, currently, in the Sony E-mount line setup that if you're looking to get into any kind of photography, you can, and reasonably cheap. So I want to know what you guys think as well. What lenses are you leaning toward? Are you gonna kind of hold out in hopes that maybe they're gonna improve the f-stops of those long zooms, or are you gonna go ahead and pick up a couple of the ones that I just mentioned? Leave those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. So there you have it, there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, perhaps, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. At any rate, I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I will see you guys again on the next one.